Okay, so you see the number, the N6700. That's the number of pattern it is. There you can look for patterns inside of pattern books. They have books where you can go through and look through which section you can get children's or crafts or like women's clothes or dresses or whatever, men's, it just whatever you want they'll have, and it'll have this number right here like in the book. And so you go to the pattern cabinet or whatever they have the patterns in, and you look for the number. This one actually wasn't in a pattern cabinet. It was actually on a shelf. On these little, oh no. Sorry, I just thought about something I forgot to do at work last night. But anyway, yeah, so here's the sizes, your European sizes. So these sizes, even though it says from size 4 to 16, it's not necessarily going to correspond with your actual clothing size. You definitely have to get your bust, waist, and hip and neck to back of the neck to the waist length. You don't always have to do the back to the waist length. In specific things you do because of how it's like what kind of like garment it is. But any clothing pattern, you need to make sure you legitimately measure your size. I don't care if you feel embarrassed that you gained a few inches. Always, especially if you're getting something custom made from somebody else or you're trying to make something yourself, don't lie about your size. Always tell the correct size. I don't care if you're trying to lose weight. No. Give them what you got now. And if you do lose weight, you can always alter down. You can always get rid of fabric. You can't add fabric. I mean, you can add like panels and stuff like that. But like, it's just best to be honest. And so that somebody can make it accordingly to your actual size. So you correspond that with your size. You might be a size 4, but in real life, but you have, you could have a 34-inch bust. That means in this size, you're going to need a 12. And usually these sizes don't match up, but whichever the largest size is, you correspond with that size, and you can always like alter the pattern to the size you need it to be. Okay, so things you'll need for the patterns. For this pattern, we got suggested fabrics down here, and you got required notions. You need thread, and you need 3 3/4 inch buttons and 2 snaps for that. And then for suggested fabrics, you have batiks, batiks, chambrays, cotton blends, cotton lawn, dotted Swiss, gauze, linen blends, poplin, shirtings. Allow extra fabric to match patterns plaids or stripes. Yes. So if you have a plaid or stripe, I don't recommend plaids or stripes, just because unless you just don't care about matching this, like lining. When I say matching, I mean like lining it up where it looks like a continuous like pattern, rather than like, oh, the stripes are above where the stripe's supposed to be on the next panel of fabric or whatever. I suggest either a solid, an all over print, or you could do print mixing, or you could do like a batik, where it's like kind of like a tie-dye in a way. That's the easiest way for me to explain batik without going into a whole spiel about it. But I'm going to be using a shirting fabric. it is like this beautiful, beautiful fabric. And I got it on a really good sale. So yeah, I got like 7 yards of it for like $4. I did good. I did really good. So yes. So okay. So top A and top B. Okay, so I of course told you that I was gonna do type. They have type A is gonna be the long sleeve. Type B is the short sleeve. That's why they have it like this. So, and type B also has this little part right here that you can tie and make it to a bow. Okay, so I'm going to do type B, but like, okay, see the 45 and the 60 means whether your fabric is 45 inches wide, and it doesn't necessarily have to be 45. It could be like 42, 43, 44. They make it like in different sizes, or 60 could be like 57, 58, 59. My fabric is, I think, 43 or 44, so I'll be going with the 45-inch size. The wider the fabric, the less fabric you need most times. So in this case, like I said, I'm going with the 45. So I'm not sure which size I'm going to make. I'm not making it for myself, so I think I'll make like a 4 or 6. And then, or not, I might make a bigger size. I might make I think I'll go with the 10. So, it says that I need a 1.5 yards fabric, for a size 10 on here. But like I said, when you are doing this, please be honest about your size. There's no reason to lie or to be ashamed for being a couple inches wider than you used to be, or not being where you want to be. It's best to go ahead and get the bigger size and let it fit correctly. And then if you lose weight, you don't have to worry about trying to add fabric and trying to get someone to match fabric, because matching fabric is so hard. Like, especially if it's something custom from, like, you order something online and you get it custom, because if it is custom, if it is truly custom, they're going to make it to exactly the size that you said that you need. So please just be honest, like, for real. So I'm gonna do a size 10, and then whenever I finish making the actual outfit, I will figure out who has these measurements. The 32 and a half, 25, and 34-inch waist. Because if you really think about it, that if you're thinking like, oh shoot, I don't like, those sizes aren't even that big. Like a 25-inch waist is crazy at a size 10. So that's why I said it's not going to necessarily correspond with the size of that you actually wear. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you'll have to, like I said, you have to make the pattern smaller, or you have to get bigger or whatever. And then of course this side is for our French speakers. So if anybody knows French, and these are in like centimeters and meters, and ours are of course in yards and inches. So I feel like there's something else that I had. Oh yeah, sometimes you need interfacing, sometimes you don't. You need 3/4 yard of 20-inch to 25-inch lightweight fusible. Of course, Joanne doesn't have any of those, so I'll have to go to like Hobby Lobby and get some, which I'll probably get some this weekend, because I'm not making the dress probably until next week, because I will be off because my job ends on Friday. Yeah, good old Joanne's is coming to an end. But anyway, that's enough about that. But if y'all have any questions, please feel free to ask me. And I will be back next week with one of these. We're actually gonna open up the patterns and cut them out and stuff. And I'll show you like what all the like the little symbols and stuff mean on patterns. And a few suggestions is, if you have a pattern, I would, instead of like necessarily cutting the pattern to your size and then you might need the pattern later on, I would get some like pattern making paper or whatever kind of like large like piece of paper, and I would make, or you can even use, honestly, you can use gift wrapping, like Christmas paper, for real. It's like really good. You can make your own, like you can sketch out the pattern, cut to each size, and do it in each size. That way you have it. That way you don't have to like be like, well, dang, I don't have it anymore because I had to cut it all the way to a 12 and I don't have the 4 or 6 anymore. So, but yeah, feel free to ask me any questions. This was supposed to be a short, so I guess I'm not doing shorts. Not necessarily anyway, but I can make this into a short, and then have like another video. All right, well, y'all have a good one, and I love you, love muffins, and have a great day, like I said.